As flickered flame makes shadows bend, and smoke meets moonlight, cold and blue. When blackest night hails twilight's end, then darkness comes to beckon you. As hunger turns the flesh to fire, and breathing falters, reason halts, then creep the claws of dark desire to rip and split you at your faults.
It is the time of the Pharast Festival. This has been heavily anticipated, talked about in a town that is in official mourning for the loss of their baron. So being able to come together as a community and to celebrate is a very valuable thing. You have taken the carriage from Veracasti, made your way into the heart of Pale Gleam to take part in these festivities. The main thoroughfare of Pale Gleam around the Hall of the Veiled Mother has been transformed for the Pharast Festival, a holiday to celebrate birth and life. The mood in the town is jovial, warm, and family-friendly. Blue and white ribbons, flowers, and bunting hang from street lamps, fences, and shop windows. Children wear simple papier-mâché masks like psychopomps, or black lacy veils like old-fashioned mourners, though all are about half-size to leave the mouth exposed. Tradesmen and women open their workshops for demonstration to the town's children, providing samples and crafts of their wares to take home. Music and the sound of laughing children echo in the mists. The smell of fried food hangs in the air, and you see many people carrying paper cones filled with fried catfish, potato cakes, and eggplant fritters. Families sit at long tables sharing a round ring pastry called a paluti. Its flaky layers filled with sweet walnut butter and topped with blue and white frosting. Sinza, being from Ustalav, explains to you all that each paluti contains a small effigy of a nosoi, and whoever finds the figurine is blessed with good luck. In the evening, you guys know that Acolyte Teresi, a young halfling woman with a chipper demeanor and a dazzling smile, will lead the children in a pageant in the church's nave. But you have no obligation to attend that. There are a few hours between now and when the sun sets. You may enjoy the festival at your leisure. So there are the things that I have described. There's an elevated stage where there's dancing. There's long tables for drinking. There are street performers dotting the street. So, Thistle, let's start with you today. As you are walking through this family-friendly, this family-oriented atmosphere, this festival that celebrates birth, life, the family units, the obligation that all of us take on as mortals to protect and to shepherd one another. How are we doing? How are we feeling?
Family, huh? Wow. Yeah. Right in the beginning there. Cool. I think that, like, there is a part of her that can't help but look jealously at mothers guiding their children through the streets, keeping an eye on them. I think that she's kind of helping to lightly shepherd kids to keep with their parents. As she's trying to keep herself normal. And I think she's going to be making her way first toward this drinking long tables.
Absolutely. And there are tokens that everybody gets for the festival, a certain number of tokens for drinks. If you'd like to purchase more, you absolutely can. But the church and the powers that be are very much invested in everybody, rich or poor, being able to enjoy some of these festivities. So all of you were handed a few tokens, so you can absolutely turn one in for an ale or a shot of something if you'd like.
Excellent. So she's going to get her first 2 glasses of ale.
Just and double fisting.
Yeah, sort of double fisting
off the bat.
And I think she has Log up there on the table, just kind of like, and he's got his little tummy in where the frosted pints were sitting, so that he's like getting himself cooled off a little as he suns himself. And she looks at him and she goes, "To another festival season." And then kind of like dinks it against his little nose, like they're doing, like kind of booping him. Before she drinks one of the first pints down.
Absolutely. And I think Log boops a little extra hard to try to knock a little bit of ale onto his snooze. You can
yeah, he gets a little bit of like a little frosted head just kind of that like drips down off of the glass. He's like, this is all he wanted.
Absolutely.
That's what my cat does.
Tell me Log isn't just a cat.
Yeah, really.
Very cat-coded, cold-blooded cat.
Little scaly cat.
Yeah. He's been helping me for the last week earn a little extra coin by getting some wild mushrooms and wild forage items. So he's earning his keep right now. Yeah, he earned his keep, so now he gets Frost.
Absolutely. And then for Wick, as Thistle was saying, this is like a warmer day. The weather is actually starting to turn. It's feeling more like spring. And the mood in the town is warmer, more jovial than it's ever been. So Wick, how are you feeling walking through the main thoroughfare here of Pale Gleam and experiencing all of this?
Wick feels amazing. He spent some time in the area and he's never seen it like this. To him, this is a very foggy, misty, things live in the water, things live in the woods kind of place. And this is just a completely different, very positive side of this whole area. And he's loving it. He's going to be deep into the food. He's going to be in the ale. I feel like he's also eyeing that stage, kind of thinking, well, how do you get on the stage? Do you think they'll allow me to perform? Who do I have to talk to?
Yeah, there are street performers sort of dotting the way. So there are multiple points where you can look and be like, here good? Could I just throw my hat down and start doing card tricks? Caesar, you are not a native to Ustalav, but you've lived here long enough to get a sense of the place and the nature of when people do Pharasman celebrations, the goddess of birth, death, and prophecy, they tend to be much more somber than this. This really isn't the holiday that you are used to seeing. You absolutely understand some of the rituals and some of the things, but just how happy it is and how little the other two aspects of the Pharasman tradition are being focused on here, it is a little bit of a culture shock. It's very regional, and it speaks to a lot of the things that you had been hearing up to this point about how special and singular and protected and protective people are of Vesperholt. It's almost like the version of Ustalav that you would read about in a book, not the real thing. So how are you feeling walking and navigating through these streets?
I think based on everything everyone said about this festival, there's a lot of stuff for kids and, whatever. I think she was almost going into it with a little bit of that, well, I'll check it out, but it kind of sounds like it's for babies kind of vibe. Like when you go to the state fair and you're like...
A teenager?
Yeah, she's got it. I mean, she's still in her early 20s, so she's kind of like, I guess I'll go check it out. But she can't help but be taken with the cheerful demeanor. She's kind of like, this isn't quite what I expected. All right, maybe this isn't so bad. And then she even finds herself, if there's like a customary drink for this celebration, she finds herself going like, well, kind of the when in Ustalav kind of attitude to like, well, if it's the, come on, I gotta have one of whatever drink that we're supposed to have on this day. And she finds herself making sure her companions get one as well. And same with the pastries. I think it was her. She was the one that was like, this is custom. We have to have one of these. Like, we've got to. And she, maybe makes some kind of smug offhand comment about like, it does seem kind of stupid, because it seems a little silly that, you could kind of stack the deck in your favor to get the little figurine to get luck. But, that's kind of how they make money is they get you to buy more of them. But, it's fun. It's fun for kids. And so she's trying...
Dear. Would you pass me one of those drinks? And Morrow's a little more... you've never really seen Morrow actually drink, but she's a little more willing than normal to, take these drinks. And she's... I think by the time... you finished too, she's almost right with you, which is weird for someone who doesn't drink.
Yeah, the local beverage, the cherry brandy that you guys found
Oh
is
shit, it's liquor.
is made by a local vintner. So there are a number of cocktails that are made with the brandy of varying strengths. So there's some, that are mixed with, lemonade or something fermented or, like a shandy, so it's like a shot of brandy in a beer. So yeah, basically whatever your taste is, there is something for your taste. And
Got this new headcanon in the back of my head now where Morrow just takes whatever Cinza gives her, immediately starts coughing because it's so strong, and then tries to play it off.
Scenes is over here like, you had like 250 years to figure out how to drink. What the fuck?
212. If you're going to insult me, at least get it right.
Whatever.
Thistle's gonna kind of, with a hand on her mug, be like, "Do you want to know a fun fact, Morrow?"
Of course. Oh God, why does it burn?
Well, apparently in the more wild parts of this land, you would trade a single arrow bolt for a small glass of whiskey or some other strong beverage. So that's how the shot was born.
Oh,
I read that was a myth. That's actually not a substantiated rumor. Who's
I'm
to
just
say?
trying to share a fun fact. You don't have to be a killjoy about it.
you see two figures promenading by, a human female and a human male. They're in somewhat fancy and somewhat quirky attire. And the woman waggles a hand at you when she sees you and calls it, "Oh, hello." And we flash back. So we flash back about a week ago. At that point, you had received word that the archaeology team would be arriving. So you all, along with Mari, are ducking out of the rain into a small tavern at the city's outer gate. So remember, there's two gates in the city. There's the old town gate, and then there's the new town gate. Through the window, you see two elegant coaches loaded on the top and sides with leather-bound luggage. Their drivers bundled up in black coats and hats. They come to a halt, and from within, a woman emerges. She is middle-aged and well-kept, with thick chestnut brown hair piled on top of her head. She opens an umbrella and takes a delicate step with her buttoned-up boots onto the cobblestoned street. When she sees you looking at her, her eyes narrow for a moment, and then she waves exuberantly. "Yoo-hoo, hello!"
Thistle returns the enthusiasm. "Excellent! You finally arrived!"
And she calls over her shoulder to the carriage she stepped out of, then quickly raps on the door to the other carriage before hustling inside the tavern. "Oh, hello. Dame Galena Marche, delighted to meet you all. I've heard so much about you. And Cinza, look at you, all grown up."
Pleasure to see you again, Miss Marche.
And Cinza, I will be completely honest with you, you do not remember this woman.
She answers the same because that is what is nobles. That what nobles do.
Completely. How kind of you to wait for us in this horrid weather. This is Lord and Lady Heverin. And the out of the other carriage had stepped this heavy-set couple. They are really cute. They're very smiley. Presumably they've spent multiple days traveling, snuggled up in the carriage together, and they're still locked shoulder to shoulder. Very, very happy. They introduce themselves. And that's Sir Raishan Tolvoldi. And Raishan was in the carriage with her. He's long, lean, with quite a sour expression, and doesn't really say much, just nods to you with a downturned mouth. "Perhaps there's somewhere else we can speak. Does this establishment have private dining rooms?"
"I will inquire." And I'll start heading in so that way I can let Cinza be the one that is kind of in charge, but I can kind of place her for a bit.
I think Morrow's been trying to kind of keep corner with her book. She's mostly just letting Cinza take point.
I think that Thistle does make like a little side comment, like, "Well, now there's at least two sour cherries, not just the one."
Do you say this to Cinza as you pass?
Absolutely, I do.
She, like, just the corner of her mouth, you can tell she's, like, fighting for her life to not laugh out loud and then have to subsequently explain that comment to these new people.
"We have a nice sour cherry ale if anyone is interested."
Oh, that sounds lovely. Yes, I think a good warming up is in order. Don't you agree?
I'll provide the libations, darlings.
You'll find that this establishment is more than welcoming. So, shall we?
Yes, of course. Lead the way.
He's kind of going to feel a little bit nervous. And to Thistle, he's going to kind of go, are we being replaced? They look like a team.
And and Thistle's gonna kind of laugh and goes, as if they could ever replace us.
We have matching hats. How come we don't have matching hats? Why don't we do things like that?
You know what? I'll get you and Log matching hats.
Oh, I rather like that. Okay.
I'll get
We'll look like a
Log
proper team.
hat to match yours, and then you'll look like a proper duo.
And as you all are, you're settled into a private room. The proprietor will close the door on you all so that you have some privacy as requested. And they'll put, they'll hand their umbrellas off to the drivers, spread themselves out a bit. So, tell us more about yourselves. We've gotten some tidbits from Emmerich, but please, paint us a picture.
Well, as you know, Dame Marche, I am, of one of Emmerich's charges.
Yes.
And as you well know already, and she's kind of holding a smile and eye contact that says, like, we both know this is bullshit. We know that you don't know me really, and but I don't want to speak for my companions, but obviously we have Thistle, we have Morrow, we have Wick. I'll let them speak to themselves.
I think that Thistle has decided to kind of play almost hostess. She does bring warming, almost like a hot toddy type of situation to all of the travelers. And as she places it out, she goes, well, I don't have much experience with lords and ladies myself, though I did get the great privilege of observing human lives in a chiefess capacity on a small island up north. I don't have nearly the impeccable breeding that you all do, but I do hope that you'll find my work satisfactory.
Oh, Thistle. It doesn't take that much to be a lord or a lady, even these days. How one carries oneself, that is the measure of a man.
Oh, Venturi, wonderful to meet you. I am the medical professional of this group, a practitioner of Shaika. If you do need me, I do have some text to go over. The entire party knows this is complete bullshit. Plays the social game for a solid 2 minutes and then fucks off to the corner.
I think that Thistle does shoot her a glare.
Well, capital. Always good to know that our health is being taken into account, especially when it rains just like this.
The utmost care, my lady.
And what about you?
Pleasure to meet you. I am emissary on behalf of the Montecriefs. Whatever can I do for you? I just sort of do little odd things for them. Odd things for the Montecriefs. I do enjoy your hats.
He's a wonderful jack of all trades. And then she kind of pulls behind Wick's ear a jack.
I was saving that for later.
Aren't you a little charmer? Yes, Audrina mentioned someone who was fanciful with a card trick. She must have been talking about you. It seems how you've grown since last I saw you. I believe it was for your 16th birthday. We're all so proud of you.
Thank you. It's very appreciated. I appreciated your attendance as well to my birthday. Do I need to roll some sort of something for this, or is it kind of obvious that she's maybe patronizing Wick a bit based on his stature?
You can do a sense motive on Lady Marche. For sure.
Sense motive is perception, correct?
Correct, yes.
31.
So Lady Marche, it's not that she's trying to be condescending, but she is absolutely trying to be ingratiating.
Mm-hmm.
So her whole personality is kind of fake, but that's not really her fault. It's almost like the sincerity has to filter through the fakeness, just because that's how she operates. That's the vibe you're getting from Galena here.
So it's not directed at Wick. It's just this is just who she is. Yeah, I think.
But sincerely, she wants you guys to like her and to feel comfortable.
Sure. Okay. I think Sinza doesn't love the way that I think it's a matter of like, you just don't know that this isn't quite hitting the way you think it is. And just because the way social games go, she's just going with it.
So what do you all think of Pale Gleam? I haven't gotten much of a tour of it yet, and I wouldn't even try in weather like this. I've heard that we're going to be staying in a townhouse. I don't suppose we're going to be neighbours, are we?
No, I think that they've set you up somewhere private for yourselves. But we're not far outside of town, not far away if you need anything.
Of course. Well, I'm sure we'll be working together quite a bit. Wilbur and Tallulah are going to be staying on the island. I dare say they rather enjoy raking through the muck, don't you, darlings? And they laugh in their good-natured way. So you get a sense that Wilbur and Tallulah are the ones who do a lot of the actual digging and the uncovering of artifacts.
Mm-hmm.
As for Raishon and myself, we'll be studying whatever these two find. Of course, we'd all like to visit the island first and get our bearings, as it were. Context is crucial, after all. And all the other artists, they laugh uproariously. Context is crucial is like, you can tell it's an in-joke among them, but you might not necessarily catch the meaning of what that means.
It's giving the same energy as like control the things you can control, like a very generic phrase that gets used. And yeah,
Morrow kind of participates in the awkward laughing because she hasn't really been paying attention, and she's like, oh wait, am I supposed to laugh now? Am I laughing now? We're laughing now.
Sinza has definitely just laughed along and kind of looked at her companions as like this is what we do, ha ha ha.
Wick's also laughing, but also kind of glances over like, I don't get
think
it.
this will last. I think she does go, yep, as my husband always said, tend to your own garden, and then whatever comes up is hopefully not potatoes.
Oh, I adore gardening. I don't have much time for it myself, but every time I get to visit my garden, I'm always so excited to see what's in bloom.
There's no way Sinza doesn't look over at Wick with the kind of like, oh brother kind of look on her face. I get to
I'm
visit
privileged,
my
but not
garden.
this privileged.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 100. She's like, I might be a noble, but I'm not that kind of noble.
And then her mood becomes a little bit more serious, and she leans in a little bit to Sinza. I don't suppose you know when Professor Moncrief will be joining us?
I can't say that I do. I mean, you know the professor. He has business to attend to, and I imagine that once we have everything set up and underway, the faster we could make with that, the faster we could see him joining us. Unless you don't want him to, then, stave him off as long as you can.
Not want?
Just a joke, of course.
I suppose he'd want to wait until we've done some cataloging. He is a busy man, as you say. He seems to make business his business, the professor does.
I think that is the most accurate description of Professor Moncrief that I've ever heard.
And at this point, Sinza, I think it is, and I will open this up to everybody else as well. It is starting to occur to you now, the more people you meet, who refers to Emmerich as Count and who refers to Emmerich as Professor. Gus, for example, you never heard Gus call Emmerich a Count. Radia exclusively calls him Count. He styles himself as Count. Lady Marche is using the term Professor.
And
it's nothing to talk about, but yeah, go ahead.
Morrow definitely cues in on that.
Did stumble over her words in that moment. For real, she was trying to decide in that moment, should she call him Emmerich? Should she call him Professor in kind? Should she? And I think that is the moment that it clicks for her. She's like, interesting.
Yeah. Emmerich is not a count. Not really. Emmerich is descended from, so a few of the counties of Ustalav, a count is a ruler of a county. So essentially, counties are to Ustalav what like dukedoms are to a lot of other countries in the real world, where like duke is right below prince. So Count is right below the Grand Prince. But 3 of the counties in Ustalav no longer have hereditary rulers. Emmerich is descended from that line. So Emmerich would be the count of a county if they still had if they still had
did that
hereditary
sort of thing.
rule.
I don't think there's any world in which Cinza would share that, because I think it was impressed upon her the importance of sometimes letting technicalities, like technically right is still the best kind of right. And so, if Count gets him and his people into more places, even though it's not 100% accurate, but it's like technically kind of right, why is she gonna like, she's not gonna have the teacher collect that homework. So she wouldn't have said anything on that front.
So you guys share a drink together, and then Galena, noticing the conversation starting to run a little dry. My, well, I think it's well time to get out of these wet things and warm up, perhaps with some wine and some good company. And her implication is that she'd essentially like all of you to join them for dinner, if not here, then somewhere else.
Say no more. Whenever you're comfortable and changed and warm enough for your liking, we can be called upon. In fact, I think she looks around to her companions. We have no issue staying down here in the waiting room until you're ready.
Smashing. And then Raishan steps in. And Raishan puts his hand on Lady Marche's shoulder. You really think you can get comfortable fast enough to be ready for supper after all this travel? And she tilts her head. Suppose we do have so much unpacking and so much organizing to do. Oh, I hate to disappoint you all, but perhaps it would be better if we get settled in the townhouse, and then tomorrow we can, or whenever this rain lets up, perhaps we can all go to the island together.
If you do prefer, we could breakfast or brunch tomorrow morning and then make our way to the island.
Oh, breakfasting tomorrow. What a good idea. I like you. You seem to be full of those strategies. Very well.
There's a moment of shock where Moro's like, wait, they like my... What? No. That wasn't expected. And like, I think Cinza specifically would see like the mild panic.
And I think that Thistle picks up on the word strategies.
Cinza pretends to look wounded, just very slightly, at the disappointment of not having to do dinner with this group. Oh, well, if it must be brunch, then it must be brunch.
It must needs always be brunch, at least once a week, I say.
Wise words.
Well, we'll make our way to the townhouse, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Fantastic. I assume we know where their townhouse is, so we can just come calling on them and collect them or something, or...
Yes, and Mari, for her part, that is one of the things that she has been doing, is arranging a lot of these things and doing a lot of the logistics for you. So she's happy to jump in the carriage with them and take them over, and she kind of looks at you, seeing something. Don't wait up.
There is nothing, no words exchanged, just an apologetic look in return.
Cinza, dear, I honestly did not think that they would approve of my idea. What does one wear to brunch?
Every day I spend with you, I am continually impressed by the things you don't know about for how frickin' old you are.
When one has spent 150 years on the battlefield, it does leave you with some shortcomings of civilized society.
Really, though? Like, almost like 2 centuries and you've never done brunch?
I have never been to brunch, no.
Wow. I think she just stands back, puts her hands on her hips, and looks over at Thistle in like a "Can you believe this?" kind of, because surely Thistle has brunch.
A little upset. She's a little wounded by this. Like, why didn't you ask me what to wear to brunch? It's fine. It's whatever. Oh, I know.
If I could interject, I have brunch at least twice a day, every day. I think we could wear I'm just throwing this out there. Maybe some hats. I think they look really nice.
You're right.
Stuck on the hats.
You're right. We should find some hats.
They
I'm
really
gonna
look
go
like a
with
team.
Wick, Morrow. I'm gonna go with Wick, and we're gonna go find some hats.
You know, what's interesting is normally I would kind of laugh off shenanigans, but actually hats are a big brunch thing. Bigger the better.
Or a big
So,
brunch thing.
Big brunch hats. That is kind of a thing. Without intending to. Sorry, I don't mean to poke fun, but without intending to, you managed to nail exactly what a lady like her likes. Brunch. Also, for the record, I don't know her. I maybe saw her like one time while I was growing up. She's like a friend of a friend's of a friend. The Montgraves had people over at the estate all the time. I don't know who the fuck that lady was.
Do you think she knows quite a bit about us? Or does she know that I'm a thief?
Knowing Emmerich, she knows about you what makes Emmerich look the best.
She did
Well-
mention that Audrina had talked about somebody who matched Wick's description.
Everyone's dossier is tailored to the person receiving it. So what Desmarchais might know about us is different than what the next person Emmerich throws our way might know about us. That will be different than the next person, and it's whatever suits the business best. So the more questions you can ask somebody to find out what they know about you without offering it up first, the better off you'll be.
It's hat time.
Hat time. So you can spend the rest of the day in town at the Haberdasher, getting your hats together.
I think
And-
Thistle specifically doesn't get a hat, but gets one for Log to match all of Wick's hats.
So speaking of Thistle, you return to Veracasti and have your own dinner in much more relative peace than it would have been if you had to continue on with the archaeology team. And Thistle, as you are retired to your room and reflecting back on the Heverins and how connected they were and how in love they seemed and how delighted they were with each other, Tallulah taking a sip and having a little bit of a foamy mustache on her lip, which Wilburn then lovingly brushed off with his thick thumb. And they share a little smooch. It casts your mind back to your own experience. And there has been a little bit of a ritual, I think, that Thistle's been doing the past couple of days. Letter writing.
Yeah.
So every letter up to now has been burned, correct?
Correct.
How about this one? As you sit at your desk and start to pen a letter.
My beloved husband. When I swore to you before our clan to love you until every last mystery has been uncovered, when you began to turn gray, to slow down, to age, you told me to leave, to run, to live a life of adventure with you in my heart. But am I allowed to love in this new life? Do I betray you with every dalliance? With every look? With every word? I saw our son in fragments of another's life. Did I bring this curse to our home too? In my fighting to be different from my mother, did I curse the only one who carries your eyes? Could I do what she did? Be my eyes in this darkness, my love, and forgive how they wander. Affectionately, as always, your dove. She sits back, she wipes her eyes with the heels of her hands and then she stands up really abruptly and leaving the letter on her desk without really thinking about it. She's like, Log, we should go look for some mushrooms. and she grabs Log out of his little, I think that it's kind of made out of like swamp reeds, this little like cat bed that she's made out of moss and reeds, and she kind of like pulls him and then like places him kind of into her bra and is gonna start heading out to go and take her boy to get a snack, because she can't really do much of anything else right now besides cry and be emo in her room, and she refuses to do that all night.
Understood. Yeah, so for any of you who might be looking out the window, you will see Thistle foraging.
Roll a d20
late
about
at
it,
night.
because Morrow probably would be, but I don't know how much attention she's paying.
Mm-mm-mm.
That is a 19, so I'm going to say she does notice it. Come back to me. I'm going to percolate on what that means for Morrow.
So the next day, you all attend brunch at the townhouse. They are in the process of, getting unpacked and settled. This townhouse is furnished, of course. So, and they have a couple servants who have been hired. So it is fairly normal, fairly standard. You get a lot of great compliments about your hats. And you may then set
I'd like
out
it to be canon that I did not pick my own hat.
I picked out your hat.
Someone else picked out my hat.
completely. As you all step onto the docks, step onto the flat-bottom boat to make your way to Skytear Island, I think Mari looks over each of you in turn. And once all the archaeologists have been loaded onto the boat, what the fuck are you wearing?
Oh, we got you one too.
Oh.
And presents a hat.
We spent a long time at the haberdasher, all right?
Yeah.
Notably, not in a hat.
I have been told, I straight-faced, giant black hat. I have been told they're mandatory for brunch.
Detective, you haven't lived till you've worn a brunch hat.
Look, if we get cursed and sink, I'm blaming the full review for this mess.
A hat?
I think for the
Well,
first
that's why-
time,
The habit.
a still straight face, Mara's just going to pick up Log and hold her up face level with Mara and just be like, but look at him.
Yeah, and he has
Look
a
at
matching
him.
magician's cap with a little elastic. Oh, no, it's like a little lace that has been tied delicately under his little chin.
We look much taller with our top hats.
Yeah, Mari very much is taking the same kind of attitude that seems it takes a lot of the time. Like, I'm too cool for this. Shove off.
Cool for hats.
Seen some mumbles to Detective Mari. Well, see, if you would wear your hat, then it would complete the ritual and we won't sink. Gives a wink as like she's like, I know this is bullshit, but we're like they would.
Absolutely
Scenes are
gets
very
a
much-
small smile out of Morrow at that one. Like, oh god, yeah, okay.
Pull anchor now.